What is going on, All Terrain Nation? It's your buddy Dave here, and man, happy holiday of sorts, I guess. I don't know exactly, Labor Day. I don't know. It's crazy, but we are here and we are talking Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Now I know Frank's gonna be a little upset that we're not talking F-150, but I felt like this was pretty relevant this week since Jeep showed us this concept. So wanted to kind of let Frank know that you know we're gonna get there. We're gonna get to F-150 tonight, but tonight, guys, we are talking Grand Wagoneer. What's up, Frank? What's up, Joe Taylor? What is up, William? Anybody else that I don't know who's in here? Jeff Cordetti, what's going on? Got this new boom mic, and it's kind of a pain in the butt, honestly. It's not doing exactly what I want it to do. And let's see, one was $15 and this one was $100, and the $100 one is a pain in the butt. But anyways, guys, what is going on, man? I hope that you've had a great weekend so far. And we got, if you're in the United States, we got one more extra day to play with our vehicles or do whatever you like to do. And hopefully you guys are having fun. So what is going on? Who all is out there? I see we got 9 people so far. Thank you to all. Thank you to all who have liked and shared this. It does mean a lot to me when you guys do that, believe it or not. And like I tell you on the other show, when you like and smash the like button, especially if anybody in your people of your realm, world of YouTube or whatever, when they know you like it, Google sends them like, oh, they might like this. So it does help help spread the word. Frank, you are happy that I am not dressed for the occasion, huh? I don't know what you're talking about, Frank. It's like I was a grumpy bear or something. Let's see. Same here in Canada. Labor Day weekend for the win. Cheers, fellas and ladies, if there's one in here. Oh man, gotta love some frontier bourbon. Gotta love it. Let's see. Joe Taylor. Let's see, laughing at Frank B there. Thanks, Joe Taylor. Thanks. Let's see. I'm digging the new Wagoneer. It's very well appointed. Yeah, we're going to get into that in just a minute. But first, I don't know if you guys know or not, I dropped a video today on, well, actually a few hours ago on me heading to the Ford dealership. So that was kind of exciting. I don't normally hang out at Ford dealerships, so that was really super exciting, right? Silly camera. But I wanted to go talk about the Bronco, and there's been a ton of I don't know if any of you guys are following anything about the Bronco, but there's just been a ton of bad information out there, and Ford's not it's not doing itself any favors by kind of being vague about everything. And I think this month is when they actually are supposed to release the numbers on the numbers on for what it's going to cost for anything, after you want the base or whatever, all the options and stuff. So we'll see with that at some point. Obviously, if it's breaking news, I'm going to try to cover it here on All Terrain Nation, along with anything Nissan on our sister channel, Nissan Nation Productions. Let's see, smash that like button. Yes. Joe, you did see the video. Good. It's yes, Ramesh, that Grand Wagoneer is not off-road worthy. But anyways, guys, first off, before we really get into the tonight's topic, if you guys would please, once again, share just the main page, share it in any of your social media platforms. I am working my way to that 1,000 mark of subs, and I need your help to do it. So if you guys could share it, it'd mean a lot. It's 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours of watch time is what I have to have. Believe it or not, 4,000 hours of watch time to monetize this channel. And this channel is it's kind of the goal this year. Last year was to get the NMP monetized. It happened. We're making pennies a day there, and I'm still grateful for those pennies a day. And hopefully this one here really takes off. Let's see. Anyways, yeah, so back to the Broncos. So if you watch the video, you kind of know what I've just been worried that with all the misinformation going on that dealers are going to take advantage. Well, we know it happens. Dealers tend to take advantage of new vehicles. the Ford dealership here has a GT500, and it is upcharged from retail $30,000. Now, granted, that's a GT500. That's a super rare Mustang, but things like that do happen. And I think because the Bronco is going to be, there are going to be so many pre-sales on this thing that really most of the dealers just really can't do it unless you're just in a dealership that, you know, like somewhere small that's not going to get many of these anyways. Maybe they upcharge, or maybe there's some upcharge going on for the Bronco for YouTubers that just want to, like I said in the video, there's YouTubers out there. There's the Stradman, all these guys that, which I love a lot of these guys, don't get me wrong, but like they do with the C8 Corvette or the Supra that came out, they rush to be the first on YouTube to get these things. They basically go trash them super quick. They all want a twin turbo everything they do now for whatever unknown reason. And then they move on to something else and they just sell it off. And my goal with the Bronco is I'm going to document the whole process. The only thing I haven't documented was me literally pushing the button to do my pre-order. And after that, like, I talked to the dealership this week and I was like, hey, I don't want the thing, like, I want to be here when it comes off the truck. And that sounds silly, but I do. I want to be there when it comes off the truck so you guys can see what happens, and it's got to go through inspections. I want to be there for inspections, and I want to be the guy ripping off all the plastics and everything, just so we can have some fun with it, guys. So anyways, let's see, Joe Taylor, Ramesh, it is not offer, or it's not offer with is highway worthy. Yes, I will share this on my Insta. Thank you, Joe Taylor. I don't know about this channel, but the Nissan Nation seems to be growing. Oh, thank you, Ramesh. This channel will grow. Like, this channel's not even a month old yet, believe it or not. I mean, I guess technically it is, but for us to actually start doing things on it, it's not even a month old. So I am, let's see, I'm looking at the numbers right now. We have 195 subs, and I need 1,000. So, you know, basically 800 away from that. And on the NMP side, the hardest thing was to get the subs, believe it or not. You would think you could get 1,000 subs pretty easy, but the watch hours, like let's see, I really started on the NMP side pushing that channel. It really wasn't till around August of that year. And I got the watch hours within a few months because I was dumping a lot of videos there and stuff you guys were digging. And it wasn't until January that we got the subs right to where we could monetize. And once again, I appreciate everybody doing that. My goal, I've said this many times, my goal is to be a full-time auto journalist, and part of it's going to be through this channel. So anyways, let's get into tonight's show. That's enough of Dave whining about my poor life being a guy buying a Bronco, right? All right, let's do this. So, bam. All right, here we go. Let's do this now. There we go. It's going to start right now. All right, so you can see the Grand Wagoneer. I got a video from FCA on this thing today, and you can see that light bar in the front. That thing rolls out, and it is to be known what it is. Now, light bars are all the craze on these vehicles right now. I mean, they really are. It's like everybody's got to have the brightest thing around. It's a wonder that Bronco doesn't have like 15 light bars to kick on, and it blinds everybody every time they turn it on. But the idea behind this Grand Wagoneer, you know, the old Grand Wagoneers were supposed to be off-road worthy. Like, they were solid axle vehicles. They were very Jeep-like, just in a big boxier four-door, you know, form. And this Wagoneer is going to take on something a little different. They're looking to take on the Lincoln Navigator style, the luxury Suburban, GMC's, gosh, I can't think of what GMC calls there at the moment. But this thing is high end. Now, when they showed it, and the video should pop up pretty soon, I think it has like, what is it, 7 screens in this thing. Now, this is what they call a concept. And I think the only reason why they're calling this thing a concept right now is because there's just no rush. There's no rush to show a final form, and I do believe that the final form is going to look very much like this. I think you're not going to obviously have the 7 screens, but I think all the interior and stuff is pretty much well to go, ready to launch. I hope that light bar across the front makes it. It would be really cool if the Wagoneer glows, but I think some of that might just be for concept. But this SUV, guys, is going to be 60 to 100 grand. Now, my first house was $70,000, believe it or not. And we're talking now, cars, like daily drivable cars, are getting much more than my first house was. It is nuts. Nuts. Now Jeep, and we're going to get into this, I'm going to bring a web page up in a minute, but Jeep really, in their release of this, they really pushed that Wrangler is for the off-road adventures. Grand Wagoneer is for the city adventures. Like, they overly pushed what the Wagoneer was about. So the kind of the funny thing about this thing is Jeep, or let's see, FCA, I guess it had been Daimler or Chrysler at the time. This isn't their first time trying to get into the full-size SUV market. Chrysler did have a, I don't even remember what they called the thing. It was ugly as could be. And so for them to dump another thing into this and just basically do it under their popular name Jeep is, makes sense. Does have a little bit of that Jeep look to it, the 7 grills and or the 7 holes in there. And if you don't know, those 7 holes are for the 7 continents. That Jeep was the first to cross all 7 continents, or so some things I've been reading about says that's why they do 7. But I'm pretty sure that they had 7 when it was Willys, so that may contradict itself. I don't know. Oh man, let's see. Ramesh, I don't know about this channel, but sorry, Ramesh, already got to that one. Yes, Joe Taylor, this thing will be expensive. Now, if you see in this video, look at all the houses that this thing is around. Like, this thing ain't playing around with the audience they're looking to buy this thing. They're looking for that very high-end audience. Now, I've seen some people talk about this thing, and I would tend to agree that is Jeep ready to take on like the likes of Range Rover, Land Rover, higher end vehicles? Does the Jeep brand lend itself to that? And if you watch Doug DeMuro at all, Doug did a thing on this of his opinions on it, and I do agree with some of it. Was Jeep guys, Wrangler guys, Commanders, whatever you're driving, the Cherokees, like, the dealerships already aren't known to be like super, like, Jeep dealerships are kind of, they're not I won't say the worst out there, but they're not like a very high end, if you need to go to your service department to have your vehicle serviced. And what Doug DeMuro was talking about, and I totally agree with, is you're trying to get people that are buying a $100,000 SUV, and this is a luxury SUV. Don't not get me wrong. This thing is super luxurious. To now want to take their $100,000 thing to where the guy with a $10,000 to $15,000 used thing is getting his car serviced, and that might be a step for Jeep. Now, I think Jeep's bringing up their, with the likes of Rubicon and stuff, everything they're overly pricing at $70,000 to $80,000 now for some of these Jeeps. You're probably already getting kind of a little bit of the high-end buyer, but the person that's going to want this, I don't know that they kind of want to be hanging out with the Wrangler crew. And that's no dissing to either party. I just think that it's just going to be different. Now, you can see here in this video, you've seen those monitors in the back headrest. That seems like a safety issue, so I don't know how well we're going to see some of that stuff as big as they are. And the one in the dash, on the passenger side, that's pretty nuts as well. Look at you can see the controls, they're all digital now. A lot of that, high-end vehicles are doing that, so it's not out of the realm of that going to be. Of course, you're going to get LED lights there. And let's see what some of y'all are commenting about here. Did not know about the grill history. Yeah, Joe, it's kind of, I believe some of that history, and some of it I think somebody was just BSing. Jeep owners are the same as Rolls-Royce, Mercedes, BMW. It's an icon brand with that's international recognized. Cordetti Motorsports says. Jeff, I agree with that. Maybe in Europe, where Jeep is not so common, but in the United States and even Canada, the Jeep is a common vehicle. It's a common person's vehicle. So once again, they're able to get, like, for the Rubicon, you can spend $73,000 for the highest end Rubicon package. I know the Gladiator is the same way. You can spend upwards in $70,000 for the the Rubicon, but do you want? I don't know. I'm having a hard time. I like the looks of this thing. Don't get me wrong, but I'm having a hard time right now believing that Jeep is going to sell a ton of this thing. Now FCA. So let's talk about FCA just for a minute. So Fiat bought controlling interest of the Jeep brand and Chrysler and whatever Daimler called this part of when they sold it off. So they got Jeep, which was the valuable part of the brands. Dodge Ram at the time was probably the second most valuable part of the deal. You got Chrysler and then Dodge. Chrysler's sitting there with like nothing. Like they've just ruined Chrysler. It seems to be a brand with no identity. They were kind of going for that high-end identity for a while, and then they just, I don't know. The 300, I think they're still making the 300s. Some of the minivans they just did away with, and Chrysler really has nothing to show for. It seems like this would have been more fit under something like Chrysler. Dodge itself, they're really only making the Challenger Charger, and I think one of the little cars, and that's it. And so Jeep, I guess, is just sort of their in between. Maybe Jeep is just now sort of their SUV brand, and that's where it's going to be. And then you leave the Ram for the trucks. But I do really like the thing. But let's go through these numbers real quick because if you haven't noticed, you can see some scenes. I've been working on this stuff just a little bit. So here we go. Let's scroll up to the top here. So this is from FCA North America. Wagoneer returns as a premium extension of Jeep brand marking the rebirth of a premium American icon. The ultimate premium SUV refined with the Wagoneer Grand Cherokee. Man, I can't talk tonight either. The Grand Wagoneer concept. Hopefully you guys hopefully you can read this. I'm not sure exactly what it looks like on your end right now because I literally did this about 20 minutes before the show. Let's see. So let's follow along here. The all-new Grand Wagoneer concept introduced today in Detroit marks the rebirth of a classic and premium American icon, providing a vision of what modern expression of the original ultimate premium SUV can be. Now, that's a lot of words for saying this is going to be really expensive and really, in our eyes, awesome. Some of this stuff you can read just trips me out. Like how they 500 words to tell you it's going to be cool. Let's see right here. The Grand Wagoneer concept boasts a wide array of leading-edge premium technologies, including the electrified powertrain. Now, that was part of the layout or rollout of this thing was with Wrangler as well. And maybe we can get into that towards the end here. So they're going to have, it's going to be a plug-in hybrid. It's going to have a sophisticated four-wheel drive system, as you can see. They said it. It's got to be true, correct? Let's see. And the first ever passenger screen in an SUV that is part of an unmatched selection of upscale premium interior features. Now, I forget what they called the leather in this thing because it's not actual leather. They were really boasting about all the recycled materials that were going to be made from this thing, and something about the seat, I forget what it was it stuck with me, but it didn't stick with me. Let's jump down here. The original Grand Wagoneer was the first premium SUV of its time. I don't know that I would Chevrolet was doing a Suburban long before the Grand Wagoneer, so I don't know that it was a premium even back then. It was expensive, the Grand Wagoneer was, but premium, I don't know. Thomas' design combined with the soul of Americana helped it achieve an iconic place in many of the hearts. Ralph Gilly said, head of design with FCA. The Grand Wagoneer concept is inspired by the original, but with a modern interpretation of luxury and freedom. Now, I don't know, once again, I don't know what the freedom you're getting, except a hefty, at $100K, you're talking at least a $900 a month car payment at 6 years or so. And that's probably being very liberal. Yes, Buck, it is starting to look a little bit like the Chevy Suburban with a Jeep front end. I think in this, we'll get back to this in just a minute. I think in this, there we go. I think in this class of vehicle, it's getting really hard to. There's a weird balance of huge. Like these vehicles, they're 3-row seating, and even the third row needs to be fairly comfortable in this thing. There's getting to be a hard design for this particular vehicle. Now, I think the new Suburban, man, is freaking nice, like super nice. Maybe not on the scale that this concept here is, but it's pretty damn close. And I want to say the Suburban, you can get into the $90,000 for the what do they call it, the high country trim. These are the roof. You need so much headroom. It's just, and it's going to be so much, so wide, because you got to have, if you got a school of a family, you got to have all 12 people in one of these things now. So I think, and then you've got generally a big V8 out front. So it's like the dimensions to make these things work is, it's a lot of work to fit what everybody wants in this. So let's jump back to, well, if I can get this to work right. All right, let's jump back to our webpage. All right, so the Grand Wagoneer concept redefines what the ultimate premium SUV can be, boasting American craftsmanship and heritage. It's actually going to be built in Michigan. So that's another cool thing about it is a lot of times they're sending these types of vehicles to Mexico, where the labor is a lot cheaper and the profits on these things will be a lot higher. But I think maybe with part of the $100,000 price tag that's going to be on these, is part of it is, okay, America, you want these built here. This is what it's going to cost a little bit to build them here. So let's see, Grand Wagoneer. Here it talks about the grill a little bit. So the Grand Wagoneer concept exterior design is anchored by the prominent black accented grille featuring the Jeep brand's iconic 7 slots. Each slot features, I'm not even going to attempt to, I've got some booze in me. I'm not going to attempt to say that right now. The signature LED system, the LED pattern forms an elegant outline of the grille, helping to emphasize the width and overall front fascia of the vehicle. Let's see what else we got here. There was a couple things I wanted to point out. Right here we go. True to its name, the Grand Wagoneer concept offers a grand interior for up to 7 passengers. I hope you can get 7 people in this thing. Thanks to its spacious, comfortable front and second row captain's chairs, as well as its third row. The first of Grand Wagoneer nameplate, the relaxed atmosphere of the interior, accentuated by the use of customizable ambient lighting, both in color and intensity, offers a liberating feel of tranquility for everyone on board. Let's see, what else can we get and talk about this thing? Because here it is. I was talking about this earlier. So premium combination of sustainable materials. The Grand Wagoneer concept provides the nameplate's most spacious and premium interior ever delivered, with refinements and elegance. Inside the cabin, an onyx glass mid-bolstered runs the length of the instrument panel and gracefully accents the spacious interior. The glass is sustainable, fully recycled materials that provide environmental benefits and is made of abundant natural raw materials. There's one I wanted to talk about. Oh, I like the wood inlay. They got one little spot of wood inlay where it's like, hey, this is a throwback to the original. Let's see. Here we go. Now we're getting into the fun of it. And they didn't talk anything about the engine options on this thing, other than the fact that it was going to be a plug-in hybrid. But let's get into it. The advanced premium electric vehicle technology. The Grand Wagoneer concept features a no-compromise plug-in hybrid electric vehicle powertrain system, in line with Jeep's brand's plans to offer electrification options on all models over the next few years. And that was part of the layout of this thing, was when they brought the Jeep, the 4, what do they call it, the 4xe package that all that I think they mentioned that by 2023 that all their vehicles would have an electric option. Let's see, electrification will be modernized with Jeep brand as it strives to become the leader in the green, eco-friendly premium technology. Now, FCA was trying to merge with Renault, and part of the deal of that was they wanted Nissan's EV tech, like something fierce, because Jeep had been lagging very, very far behind with their EV tech. For whatever reason, they just never jumped into it like GM did, and Chevy, and obviously Tesla. Let's see. The vehicle will be the most efficient and responsible Jeep vehicle ever. That's a stretch. Absolutely quiet, open-air freedom while taking performance, four-wheel drive capability, and Jeep's fun-to-drive experience to the next level. Now, if any of you have driven one of these big monsters before, I would never in my life put fun to drive on anything full-size Suburban. Now, easier to drive now than they used to be. Sure, why not? But I've never, like, a fun vehicle to drive is like my Juke, or some kind of sports car, a Vet. A Vet is a fun car to drive. What do y'all think? Would you label a full size Cordetti? Would you say your new F Series? I believe you got an F Series, wasn't it? A full size truck. Would you say it's just fun to drive? So I'm going to say that's a stretch. Now they give a little bit of history here, and let's get into this and go back to this. So, born in 1962 and the 1963 model year, the original Jeep Wagoneer was the first four-wheel drive vehicle ever mated to an automatic transmission, pioneering the first modern SUV. Now, once again, Suburban had been out there for quite a long time, and now I'm not going to argue that this might be the first automatic transmission back in the 60s, but once again, I think they're stretching this a little bit. Let's see. It was the first SUV matched with a four-wheel drive capability with state-of-the-art ride quality and stylish appearance with premium interior. The independent front suspension was optional. Quadra-Track was the first automatic full-time four-wheel drive system, which was introduced in 1973. The Grand Wagoneer debuted in 1984 and marked the beginning of the premium SUVs, giving buyers an unheard of combination of standard features such as leather upholstery, air conditioning, AM/FM CB radios, which I do remember that, added sound insulation, wood grain exterior trim, and considered the gold standard of the SUV market. Grand Wagoneer also featured a 360 cubic inch V8, increased horsepower and torque, and the segment's highest tow rating. Now, once again, they did not get into what this thing was gonna have in it. Now, everything seems to want to go smaller displacement now. Everybody's wanting to somehow do 6. Obviously you wouldn't put a 4-cylinder in this, but I could see a V6 of some sort going into this thing. Maybe a turbo style V6 with the optional kind of the EV part of it to kind of kick up the torque numbers a little bit. And speaking of that, I'm gonna get into this because this goes hand in hand. Let's see if I can find it real quick. We will talk about this real quick. Wrangler. Because here we go. Let's see if this pops up right. Here we go. All right. So this goes hand in hand. The EV tech that they're trying to roll out, and they're going to include with the Wagoneer concept, they wanted to show on the Wranglers. Now, they're going to say right here, the Wrangler 4xe boasts 375 horsepower and delivers up to 25 miles of pure electrification operation for those daily commutes while providing nearly silent zero emissions and open air freedom. Now, when did 25 miles become the that got us there? And If any of you know anything about electric vehicles, extreme heat and extreme cold, it messes with those numbers a little bit. Now, 25 miles in this day and time. Now they're using a very small battery pack in this, and it will be pretty identical in the Grand Wagoneer. 25 miles is a joke, guys. Now they're going to say, "Oh, well, that 375 horsepower is going to deliver." Well, yeah, but when you get into an EV, say you go to need that 375 horsepower, you get into the throttle with an EV, and that 25 miles instantly becomes about 12 miles. And then if you need it for multiple miles, you're out of luck with that thing. So it's going back to its combustible engine. The torque on demand. Now I can see that. Now that I can see the torque on demand side of this, where if the they can work side by side with the engine working with the EV tech part of it to like especially rock crawling. I mean, that's a big thing in rock crawling. Not that I believe you're going to take this 25-mile Rubicon-ish thing rock crawling, but torque is where the Wrangler people always want to know, what's the torque. So it's I don't know on this. Anyways, let's get into this little speed. The low speed torque on demand raises Wrangler's legendary off-road benchmark to master off-road environments. Wrangler 4xe is the first and foremost a Jeep Wrangler with a trail-rated running gear. Now, yeah, you got to claim that. Oh, hey guys, hey EV guys, we're not going to mess with your Wrangler. We're we're making it more capable, right? I don't know. Some guys, I'm not an EV guy by any means. I would own a Leaf or something like that as a commuter car. But these Tesla, which we need to talk about the Cybertruck one of these days, because I know my buddy over there at Pickup Trucks and SUV Talk, he loves kind of pissing those guys off with Tesla talk. So why not me, a less educated guy on it, talking about it? Let's see. It supposedly is going to deliver an estimated 50 mpge miles. The battery pack, once again, is super small in this thing. But, obviously it's going to have the blue accents. You can see it's going to say, hey, it's going to scream, I'm electric. But isn't the Wrangler thing with all this kind of goofy that you got like couple engine options. You get the 4-cylinder, you've got a V6, and now you can get a diesel in these things, and it's like, oh, let's dump an EV in the middle of this. Now, I think Grand Wagoneer, I think it'll get that 3-liter diesel too, and I think that's probably where that vehicle's most happy, as big as that thing's going to be. I think you start putting in these smaller engines with this electric, and yeah, the first year or so you're like, oh, this is awesome, and then the tech wears out of that thing, and meh. But let's see, this Jeep, they're saying it's going to have a 2-liter turbocharged i4 engine in it, the engine-mounted motor generator unit, transmission mounted motor generator. What? It's weird. 8-speed automatic transmission, the same ZF they put basically in everything, a 400-volt, 17 kilowatt hour, 96-cell lithium-ion battery. Now, if I remember right, the Nissan Leaf is like a 96 kilowatt battery. So you can tell that's like got tiny battery in this thing. Let's see, anything else exciting about this before we get into some of y'all's stuff. Let's see. I don't know. I think that's done with that. Let's go back to. We'll put the video back on there so you guys can watch it a little bit more. So guys, where are you at on this Grand Wagoneer? Now they didn't give us a ton of information to really chew on. Like I was just talking, the engine options are going to be where we really chew some fat on this thing, and the fact that I just don't see that it was showing lights up on the roof itself. I think some of that is concept, but I think it would be cool once again if that Wagoneer spot did glow in LED, and that it's not like that tech is super hard to do anymore. But let's see what you guys have been talking about down there. 10 on 10 likes. Thank you, guys. Let's see. Jeff Cordetti says it's an F-250 and it's a tank. Yes, any big vehicle I've ever driven is a tank. Now, I've driven some really cool diesels that'll fly, but I wouldn't want to run them around the corners and call it a fun driving vehicle. Or I guess you could say fun for minutes at a time. But if you're willing to spend $100,000, let's do this. If you're going to spend up towards to $100,000 right now, what would be your SUV of choice? Would it be something like the new Land Rover? Because I think you can get a Land Rover for, I think it starts at 55,000 and goes on up from there. Now, granted, it's not the same size as this. Once again, the Chevy Suburban. I'll pull those numbers up real quick. See what the latest Suburban numbers are. Let's see. The LS base is two-wheel drive version is 52,000, and the premium setting around 66,000. But I know it's more than 66,000 right now. And let's see what the Land Rover is going for. Let's see. A Discovery right now is 52.3 is what it's starting out at. Yeah, Frank B, the Grand Cherokee with a Hellcat. Yeah, that is awesome, dude. The Trackhawks are great. Joe Taylor, who is Nissan centric, Joe Taylor says the QX60. Joe, you need to spend some time in the current. I guess they've updated the dash in that QX60, and in the Armada gets it next year. But I would say you would feel it's a little outdated for the. QX60s you can get into $70,000 to $90,000. Fun for mud bogging. Oh man, let's see. Cordetti says Jeep has a brand identity and recognition, so there is a good chance it might be a great addition to the Jeep portfolio. And I do not disagree with that, Jeff. I just find it a little odd that Jeep is kind of your blue collar guy, and they're wanting because Daimler and FCA has done such a bad job, in my opinion, of the portfolio they have of vehicles, that they've just sort of let Chrysler just fall apart. Even Dodge was like, you had the Viper, which they killed, and you had all these really cool cars at one time. Now, Dodge, granted, they've had their turds too, man. Anybody knows what the Dart is, and the Neons, and but even the Neon actually had an SRT that you could get, was kind of fun, I guess, for 30,000. I forget what they were, like 28,000 or something. Little turbo. William says 6.7 liter Excursion for the win. Yes, the Excursions are really nice. Ramesh says Sequoia all day over this thing. I had a Gen 1, Ramesh, I had a Gen 1 Sequoia that was super, super nice. And I liked it better than the Gen 2 of the Sequoia. I think Toyota, and we'll get into this in future live shows if you guys want. Toyota is like, we know there's a new Tacoma and Tundra coming. They better step it up, man. Sequoia, now it's a nice inside vehicle, but the fuel mileage, much like the Tundra, is just atrocious, just horrible. And I can't believe that it's as old as it is, and they've just let that engine go in that thing. Let's see. Joe Taylor says FCA's portfolio is sort of a mess from good and a lot of outdated and gross. Much like Joe, much like Nissan at the moment. Let's see. What else we got going on here? Tanner Love, why are companies wanting to turn their off-road vehicles into electronics now, other than it being a trend in the auto industry? Well, some of that, man, is our government. Like, they keep shoving you got cafe regs, so these things have to hit a certain MPG, and then as a company as a whole, there's benchmarks they have to hit. And I believe the Trump administration, for right or wrong, has changed some of the cafe regs, but the Obama administration had put it was it was pretty nuts how fast they needed these companies to get their standards up. And I will agree somewhat. I think the auto industry for a long time got away with just kind of like, well, we're kind of working to more fuel efficient vehicles, and I think I think the Obama administration, in like I said, like them, love them. I don't care your politics. I think that the auto industry, needed that kind of kick in the ass and said, "Hey, get your house in order a little bit." But now I think they're sort of going a little nuts with it, and some of it you got to blame battery tech, because there was at one point they were talking about making a lot of vehicles 24-volt vehicles because of all the electronics. Now, a lot of LED tech and stuff like that, where it's a lower draw from the engine itself. It's sort of brought that thought of a 24-volt vehicle down. It's just there's so much about it, and I only know a small fraction of what it could be. I do save your questions like that though, because I do plan on having some of the experts in this world on the show. I am going to reach out to a few people from Nissan, FCA, and see if we can't have them on the show, and so that you guys can talk to them and ask these questions. Now, a lot of times they will tell you, especially if you ask future products, we don't talk about future products, this and that. But Frank B, I can neither say yes or no to that 2020 comment. But let's see. I think he placed the head of emissions agency. Let's see, where are we at? Let's see. Or a Land Cruiser would be even better. Sorry, I'm having a hard time keeping up with y'all's comments tonight. Let's see. So Cordetti says, excuse me. Me for 100,000. My top are the Jeep Grand Wagoneer, the Cadillac Escalade, and the Lincoln Navigator. I think the Escalade's always been in this. I think Escalade's always kind of been for the big full size, like kind of top dog, really. I think Cadillac's sort of fallen out of favor the past couple years, but they always GM always puts their high-end tech in that and lets it trickle down. Let's see. Who am I thinking of having on from Nissan? Just curious. Joe, I can't tell you these things right now. We don't want to scare our... if you're hunting, Joe, and there's a deer out there, you don't go boogie, 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 boogie right before you shoot him, right? You got to be real quiet about it. Let's see. Frank B asks, where is Danny tonight? Yes, Danny is still at the beach. And then Danny is going to be racing. Danny is, let me see if I can find that real quick, and I'll fill you in on Danny's racing. Let's see, Nismo. There it is, Nismo Stuff Racing. You've heard us on the podcast. We've had them on before, and let me see if this pops up right. I don't know if this will. There we go. So, Nismo Stuff Racing. This little bad boy right here came from Nashville, Tennessee. Went all the way up to the New England area, and spent its life being disassembled and turned into this little fun racer. And Danny is actually, I haven't heard whether he's co-driving or just navigating, but they're going to be in, I believe it's El Paso, Texas. Let's see. I can't believe Daniel Spangler hasn't updated this. But if you want some cool things, like Nismo Stuff Racing, he races the Frontier. It was a 4-cylinder. He's moved up in class, and he put the 4-liter into this. I know Driven Desires did a lot of changes for him, engine-wise. And the dude just has fun rally racing and desert racing and stuff. And like I said, he's an East Coast guy that's heading out west this week to do some racing. But that's where Danny's at right now. And, yeah. Let's see. Here's Daniel's website. Well, Daniel's website's a little political, so we don't want to go there right now. Anyways, Nismo Stuff Racing, go follow him. Like I said, once again, Danny will be a part of this, and we've interviewed Daniel Spengler a couple times. Trying to find sorry for the fast scrolling. I'm trying to find some better pictures of his stuff. Daniel Spengler is the dude. He travels all over the world, like following with these racing, and he helps out with some teams. But this is his own program. Super fun. Let's see. Joe Taylor, would we have our friend Alfonso? No. I don't think I'm a big enough fish for Alfonso right now. Let's see. Danny is probably having dinner with the in-laws. I don't. Diego, no. Joe, I'm smaller fish is who I'm going for right now. Let's see. Any other questions in the world of pickup trucks and SUVs? I want to talk that F-150, Frank, but I just felt like this was going to be a little more, to get on this timely vehicle, and since everybody else was talking about it, we might as well too, right? Let's see. I'm trying to have anything else. I don't think so. So guys, if you have 0 other questions, we've done 50 minutes here, man. Had a lot of fun. Danny should be back, I believe, next week. So if you got any Danny questions, follow our Instagram at Nissan Nation Productions this week, because Danny, like I said, is racing. And I know he's going to do some live stuff there. I think he's going to do it on our Facebook page. We might even throw something on the All Terrain Nation thing. And if you haven't yet, go to our Facebook page, All Terrain Nation. Find us there. Like, and hit that subscribe button or whatever the Facebook calls it. I can't keep up. And yeah, Frank the Wagoneer is. But literally, I have your notes. Like, Frank, I kid you not, man. I made it. It said F-150 for Frank. So we're going to get to it. I promise you that. Let's see. Cordetti, I got an oil change video coming out this week. Yes, guys, once again, like, support any of you guys that are doing something fun on YouTube here with the vehicle. Support it. Jeff Cordetti, go touch his name there. It's going to take you to his page. Go like and sub there. Now, Jeff's done a lot of changes to his vehicle choices. I don't think he longer has his Toyota, which was a really cool TRD Tacoma. And Jeff, did you get rid of your car? I forget what the car was called. Let's see. Ramesh says, I am considering a 14 Ford F-150 with a 3.7 V6. Any thoughts? Now, somebody was fussing about the direct injected motors, about what Nissan's using yesterday or Friday on our live show on the Nissan Nation production side. I want to say check out Ramesh, do some Googling on that engine, because it is direct injected, and I want to say it was at around 14s when they made a change to fix some problems they were having with it. I think the turbo V6 stuff is great. I don't think I would ever want the 4-cylinder version of F-150. I don't think they had it by 14, but on some of them, I mean, I ran the old, what was it, a 3.8 liter, I want to say it was a 3.8 V6 that Ford used to put in their F-150. I had a 97 F-150 that I bought brand new. I thought it was fine. Of course, mine was a manual transmission. It was the Buster model. Let's see. Oh, the Bricklin, yeah. No, you still have it, huh? You're only going to let that one go if you get what you want. Don't blame me there. Let's see. Anyways, guys, so I'm going to do on the Nissan Nation side, I'm going to film my Xterra again, because I only did kind of a walk around the outside of it. And I may put it on this channel. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to be too Nissan-centric on this channel, seeing how we have the other one. I don't want to, any of our new friends, I don't want to upset our new friends and they think, oh, this guy just talks Nissan. So we got that coming up. I've got unofficial Windrock coming up. Now, I'm not holding the event this year, but it's still sort of going on. So I'm going to go see some friends over at Windrock Park in a couple weeks. And I've got a Raptor coming up on this channel and a Jeep Wrangler coming up on this channel that I'm going to do some driving and monkeying around with it. Let's see. William, wasn't that a 4.2 V6? I want to say it was like a 3.8, man. It's been so long ago, I don't even remember Ford's lineup. Ford and GM have like 100 different versions of an engine. Like, they're hard to keep up with how many engine options they do anymore. But could have been a 4.2, but that seems awful big. I know I had a 97 F-150 work truck that was a 4.8, the small block V8. The thing was weak as could be. Horrible. Great chat tonight. Thank you, Joe. Thank you to everybody who has been a part of it. Thank you, Joe, for being our moderator extraordinaire on here. And guys, if you like this content, once again, please like and subscribe to it. Let's see. We need to talk about the Raptor getting a Shelby motor. Yes. Well, the Raptor is going to get 2 motor options. We've got, and that'll be part of our F-150 series that we're going to do, Frank, because rumors are coming out. I know TFL's been talking about it. Pickup Trucks and SUVs been talking about it, that Ford is going to do a hybrid version and a big bad V8 version. So, never know. Never know. So, once again, cheers. I hope you guys have a great Monday. Once again, if you haven't yet, video I did, Bronco Deposit, just launched here. If you like it, share it. Any of the videos you like and share. And until next time, guys, this has been your All-Terrain Nation. And what are we? What are we, Joe Taylor? We are out, guys. Peace. Where was it? Somebody just said, what was that? I don't know.